about all it's good for. But some people like them original. Okay, now let's talk about your car. It's a frame. Is someone made the frame?
Specialty tees. They were in like Paramount, right?
Yeah.
In that area.
Yeah. Artesia.
They're not in business no more. Well, he sold them. The place moved to Point Park, but he doesn't build chassis. He bought the name, not the chassis portion of it. So they're not even around anymore.
Wow.
Specialty tee. Because my dad had bought one back in the about 40 years ago from me, brand new. And there's only two people that were making a specialty tee, and here in Chino, CCR, California Custom Roasters, are only two people that make chassis for the 26, 27. But specialty tee made the frames straight, so it's hard to tuck a header in there.
Yeah, I'm looking at those headers and I'm going.
California Custom Roasters made theirs come out like that and then back in. So you put a V8 and tuck any kind of header in there. So if you put a V8 in here, you can't tuck hardly anything in there. They made a special header at one time for the V8s for this chassis. And I heard the last person, like Speedway Motors, bought the rights to it or bought the mold, but they don't make them. So my dad has that chassis for seriously 35 or 40 years, and he has no headers to put. When he builds it, he won't have any headers to put on. He have to custom make them.
The hood on this opened up both sides?
Yeah, both sides.
And there was a rod down the middle.
Yeah, that was my rod right there. But see, it hits this, so
yeah,
I can't even put in here so I gotta do some of this before I break it. That's why I won't drive it far.
I've got a couple of these, and they were off a car that went 409 miles an hour. It's the goldenrod. Mike Cook, who I sell parts for, is he here? Yeah, he's over there. He gave me the parts to sell to a guy. I sold them to a guy up on eBay. The goldenrod is 4 Hemi engines. And luckily, I found a picture on the internet of the car with the valve covers, because they had decals on them. And that made the valve covers worth like $500 more. So I have a couple pieces left over.
That car that Mickey Thompson made famous, he had a salt flat 4 engine.
Right. Sonic.
That no, this is old, from the 60s. Back 70s, it had 4 flatheads in it. I think he bought it and he put 4 probably 350s or big blocks in it. This is probably in the 60s or 70s.
Well, that was, yeah, it's at the Hot Rod Museum, at the NHR Museum.
That Portuguese used to own that car.
Really?
My dad knows him. He's still alive. He lives in Oregon. Something Baranco was his last name. He owned that when it was 4 flatheads. He just couldn't get a world record. Mickey Thompson bought it because the guy had my dad said, like 7 kids and just couldn't put the money into it.
Yeah, Mike would know about that.
Mickey Thompson made it famous, but that was a Portuguese guy's car.
Really?
I got pictures of it at home, actually. I'll have to bring them next time to show you.
Bring them.
The articles.
Bring Mike would like to see
them. And it shows my buddy, my dad grew up with him, Tommy Leonardo. His dad, Frank Leonardo Standard, he used to mechanic for him. And, everyone just standing around in their Levi's and white t-shirts back in those days.
Yeah.
And my dad said the guy was a goofball. He was a Portuguese guy, Johnny Larenco, or I don't care. They don't have it in there, but he was a goofball. He likes to have fun, and he wasn't scared of that car at all. 4 flatheads in it.
Wow. That's interesting, because I thought
I got it framed.
Mickey Thompson built the whole thing.
No, that particular, I'll bring in the articles, or ask my dad. Well, Dad's memory's good, but
how old is he?
I can ask Tommy Leonardo. Tommy Leonardo, he might have been too young to wrench on it. It might have been just his dad wrenching on it, but he knows the full story.
How old's your dad?
74, 75.
Oh, he's young.
I know, but he's starting to lose it mentally.
What did he do his whole life? What kind of work?
Well, he worked at McDonnell Douglas for 17 years.
Uh-huh.
But then he started his own business, slot cars on slot car track. Well,
we would have been best friends.
Well, sitting at home, he made the bodies for him.
Yeah.
And my mom shipped them around the world.
Really?
Japan, Germany.
Really?
And then Dad had his own track for a while, because my next door neighbor, he reminds me of you. His name's Shannon. He's actually here today. He's out in Arizona, and he came in for a funeral. And he's supposed to call me this morning and stop by and say hi. He's as tall as you, looks just like you, but he used to start.
Good looking guy, huh?
Yeah, good looking. He used to take us to slot car racing. Well, I was like 10, he was 15. You're older than us.
Yeah.
Well, we got started, and Dad's like, well, I used to do this in the 60s. So he started going. Well, he found out one of the slot car tracks was for sale, so he's like, I'm gonna buy it, and I'm gonna start my own slot car.
Wow.
Well, then he bought the guy had the body business, so he bought the body business, so he was doing that from home, and then during the weekday.
So he was doing injection molding at home.
At home in her garage.
How was he blowing the plastic? Did he make a injection mold?
No, it has
Like a vacuum form.
Vacuum former.
And they're wood.
No, they were made out of, I don't say Bondo, but Dad had a special, there was a certain, he'd Bondo them to make them, and then he'd pour them into
Shape them.
He'd pour it into this DevCon stuff, and then he'd pour something else to make the mold again from Bondo.
Right, well, they have positive and negative.
Something that was stronger than Bondo to hold up the heat.
Right.
There would be 6, I think you could fit 6 or 8 on there. Because I had to do it when he had his heart attack. Me and my brother were out there doing it for a while. Mom was still, packaging.
Big in slot cars. I love slot cars. In fact, I watched slot car on YouTube. They're just too fast. You can't watch them.
Oh yeah, the open cars are so fast.
They have these cars. All they are a fat piece of plastic and a motor on them.
Well, they got wings on them.
Yeah, they got wings, and you can't watch them, so they have electronically have to count them.
My dad's body business was called Out of Sight Designs.
Really?
Had like a Snoopy with a controller in his hand, like a helmet on him. That was from the original guy, Frank Pretzman was his name. We bought it from years ago. Yeah. Dad ran it for 17.
You have any
years.
slot car stuff left?
A couple little things, nothing major. Dad still has a bunch of stuff. There's a slot car track in Boyna Park still.
There is.
Yeah, that's the only thing around here. Is
The one on Ball, or a Ball and
It's on Valley View and Lincoln.
Valley View and Lincoln, because I knew
The Wiener Schnitzel's right next to
Valley
it. He's
View
kind of
and
pushed back off the street. He's been there for quite a while
Really?
now. He's just, the old man or something happened to him, so he sold it to someone else, but it's still in the same spot.
Really?
And they race there. People from, well, it's the only one around, so people from out here go down there just to race.
back east they got drag strips and all the.
He has a drag
He
strip.
has drag
too.
strip?
He has a drag strip, and then he has 2 tracks.
Oh,
and a
that's
drag
it.
strip.
Good.
So he has a race track, kind of screw around track, and then the drag strip, and that's what everyone goes for the weekend Saturdays.
The drag strip.
We have a guy that came to our track 20-something years ago named Foamy. We call him Foamy. That's not his real name.
Your phone's at the mouth.
Dude, he's racing to this day. He's probably been racing 40, 50 years. He doesn't drive. He doesn't have a license to drive. I don't know. And he takes little. He's been working for slot car people.
Really?
Take him in little menial jobs all his life. He still races to this day. He comes down. I
Let
don't
me get my sunglasses. I'm going blind now. Hold on. Let me get my sunglasses. Blind. Okay. I used to work with Portuguese. Great people. I love the Portuguese people. They took me in like family. They were great. Great.
You got the manifold vacuum, you got the port vacuum. Yeah. And what you're doing is you're advancing the full at idle and it's going backwards.
Yeah. But this is, I'm running off the intake manifold, so I'm sucking way too much at
Well,
idle.
you're getting full advance at idle, and then as you go, when you need more advance, it's retarding it. Yeah.
So I don't have, it runs all right, but because I'm not put out for performance, I just drive around commercial and I always burn rubber. Ain't gonna do that anyway.
There's another guy that has a black one like this.